Okay, today I'm on my way now to go interview Sharisse. I'm excited for the interview. I'm excited to hear what she has to say. I think this conversation is going to be really good, very helpful inside. I'm excited to take you guys with me. We're in downtown Orlando. Let's go. Excited that we're here at Colliers in downtown to interview Sharisse Walton. I'm so thrilled to sit with her. Come on, guys, let's go. Sharisse, what a pleasure.
Listen.
I'm so happy we're gonna have this conversation.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Absolutely.
All right.
Let's go. Thank you, guys.
Sharisse, I'm so excited to be able to see and talk to you.
Yes.
You have been a light into my life, and I'm honored that people are get to meet you and sit with you for this next time in this podcast. So my first question I have, and let me just say a little bit. The first time I saw you, I was very impressed by you, seeing you. I was sitting in that commercial council in Orlando, and I saw you speaking, and you spoke so well. You knew exactly what you're talking about, and that was the journey that I had to the point where we're able to actually meet you and hear all the wonderful things that you have to share. So here's the question: how did you become the president of CFCAR?
First, let me just, for the benefit of everyone that may tune in, CFCAR stands for the Central Florida Commercial Association of Realtors, and my journey to president is interesting, so I'm happy to share it. I first became aware of CFCAR. First, let me just give a little bit of a backstory. Yes. I had applied for a designation, a mentorship program. It's called the CCIM. CCIM is the CCIM program. And it was a mentorship program that helped people who were either in the commercial real estate space or wanted to get into commercial real estate to understand what the designation is and how it can assist them. And also you would be paired with a mentor. So I found out about the program only right when the application deadline was at term. Wow. I had found out about the program, and so I reached out. Although it said it just passed, when I saw the announcement of it, I still reached out to the person who was running it. And when I reached out to him, he says, you know what? He interviewed me a little bit and asked me what was I looking to get out of it and just all the things. Based on my answers and everything that I shared, he says, we are going to make room for you to give a spot. And yes, we'd like to have you participate with this mentorship program. Throughout the mentorship program, it was amazing. It was about 6 to 8 months, and I was paired with a CCIM mentor because I had interest in doing development work in CRE. I had a person that had done development and also other things in commercial real estate. It ended up being a wonderful program for me to have participated with. As a result, what I didn't know, this organization called CFCAR. CFCAR, as I had shared what the acronym stands for, it is the only association in Central Florida that focuses 100% on commercial real estate. Wow. He was the president. He was the term president for 2024. So he says, Sharisse, listen, he said, based on what I see about you, I think that you would be wonderful to be an addition to our board for CFCAR, and your only role would be to be the Hallmark Awards chairperson, to run the event, run it successfully, and make sure that it was everything it was originally meant to be. After looking into it a little bit further, understanding, I said, okay, well, I can tell you that year, with everything that I kind of poured into it and made it and the different ideas we came up with, it ended up being an overwhelming success. I actually was instrumental in creating 2 additional awards that they had not had in years prior. And that in and of itself was a game changer. Just to name the awards, it was the Legacy Award, celebrating people in commercial real estate throughout Central Florida that have done significant things. that should be acknowledged and awarded for their contributions to the industry. That was one, and the other one was the Innovation Award. Hold on, pause. So in 2024, as the chairperson, I added a new category called the Legacy Awards. And then that's what I had just shared. Now, after that, because it was an overwhelming success, and because of the different connections I made throughout the program, everyone on the board at the time said Sharisse for president.
Wow.
So the term was coming up. 2024 president, he was going to finish. 2025 was coming, it was about 5 months away. They said, Sharisse, would you consider being president and running the organization in 2025? I said, that's a big undertaking. I don't know about that. So what did I do? I prayed about it.
Wow.
So at that time, I had just aligned myself with a commercial real estate firm that was 100% commercial real estate, and I wanted to make sure to focus all of my energy and efforts in fulfilling my role there with that company. Prior to that, I was with a smaller boutique firm where we did commercial and residential. So I prayed about it, and what I understood was that, yes, I should go ahead and do the program. I should go ahead and become president, accept the nomination, because it would provide access. And
that is the key word.
Yes.
That is the key word. Love it.
Yes. And so I accepted the role, and then from there, it was a whole cadence of a year that followed.
Are you glad you did?
I am, and it did. It provided access not only to just throughout the community and leaders and other industry partners, but also to a different aspect within myself. So it's kind of amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So as you entering into commercial real estate, which everybody thinks is a challenge, right? Because I hear from a lot of the Brazilian community saying, we don't have access, we don't have access. We hear that a lot. What was one challenge that you had to face in that field?
Okay, so a challenge that I had to face in the commercial real estate field altogether.
Yeah. I guess I can frame the question and say, as a woman, because sometimes they say that commercial real estate is very masculine, right? Mm-hmm. As a woman coming into this field, how did it feel for you? Okay,
so absolutely, it is, like you had just mentioned, a pretty much still male-dominated industry, commercial real estate. And I should say there was a challenge that I did have, a significant challenge. And it may not be significant, but nonetheless it was there. When I would make calls, different things like that, some people would return calls, some people may not return calls. Yeah. That's one thing. And also I felt that based on the firm I was calling from, people would determine if they're going to answer the call or take it seriously, depending on the firm. But the other thing is, because I have an interest and I am pursuing a career in development as well, I was told by an industry partner that's been in the industry for decades, that while my aspirations were very noteworthy, I didn't really have a chance to do it. And so that is like game on. And so that was something that, from that time period, I said, well, he doesn't know who I know, because it will happen. It's just that's the moment that we say,
thank you for saying that, because now I get to share what you said, and then I get to share what actually happened.
That's right.
That's good.
Exactly.
That's really powerful. So continuing with this is, what would you say one of the most significant moments you had in your career?
Okay, one of the most significant moments I had, I'd say, is when I accomplished the feat of placing a 10-year lease. Actually, what I'd say is accomplishing the feat of taking a dilapidated space. It was primarily, formerly, the executive offices of the Orlando Magic.
Wow.
It was surrounded by basketball courts. It overlooked the basketball courts, and a few years back, it had hurricane damage. One of the most significant deals that I have had is one at the former, what they called RDV. Now it's called the Genesis Health Complex, and it's in Maitland. I had a tenant that was looking for space that had basketball courts because she had a sports academy. Wow. She had outgrown their small space and needed space, offices, and all the things for classrooms, and also to expand the program from just a middle school program, but to include high school. We came across an opportunity where there was this health complex where it was the original part of within the 300,000 square foot complex. They had the Orlando Magic had their executive offices, wow. Their former executive offices. So one of the things is it was difficult for them to rent this specific space. It was around 30,000 plus square feet. Mm-hmm. It was difficult for them to rent it because a lot of the rooms overlooked basketball courts. Mm. They had a further challenge because prior hurricanes had made it water damage, so that whole area just kind of had gone unused for a while. Enter me and my tenant. It was perfect for our offices and classrooms that overlook the basketball court because they are a sports academy and their primary sport was basketball at the time.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes. Well, what's even more amazing about it is that navigating the lease it was full of challenges. She was pretty much more of a startup type of a client because she had less than 5 years in the business. However, she had a thriving concept and it was explosive and everyone just kept pouring in and wanted to be part of the academy to join. Well, we had to navigate the challenges of this landlord accepting this prospective tenant who didn't have the experience and balance sheet, but they were willing
that comes with a challenge.
Yes. They were willing to, they said, okay, only if we signed the long-term lease. We signed a 10-year lease. Mm-hmm. We took that entire wing of space. We took also room on the first floor for a daycare center that they were going to add in, the child care center that the sports academy was adding in for the benefit of parents and just to make it easy for parents. And they were able to scale their operation all the way from 6th to 12th grade. And it's called, that same academy is still in operation now, and they've done extremely well. Oh. But it was a very laborious process to get there, to get to the point of success.
And you're part of that.
Yes, and I'm a part of that.
And that's your legacy. That's your legacy.
Yes.
It's like a work behind the scene that no one sees it, but without you, nothing of that would have happened.
Yes, without me and the client and the grace of God.
Yes, amen. That's amazing. That is incredible. So when you think about all that, and we were talking, you were explaining to me about legacy, right?
Yes.
Is the things you're building that it's unspoken and it's being recorded in your heart and the paperwork, right? But not everybody, I don't know if you walk in the building and see your picture of that, right?
Yeah.
What would you believe is a true legacy?
What I believe is a true legacy is the difference that you make in others' lives and the impact that you had on the community that surrounds you and the people that you connect with along the way.
Why that investing in people is important to you?
Well, I know that one of a personal gift that I have is I am a catalyst for change. So,
that's beautiful. Wait, that's gorgeous. Say again. That is just so powerful phrase.
Yes.
Say it again.
Absolutely. So I know that I am a catalyst for change. It's a God-given gift.
Yeah.
And so whether that means connecting someone, providing resources, or doing whatever is necessary, taking the steps necessary to help others to be successful, I find great joy in that.
That's beautiful. And one more question is, do you have a quote that you live for, a quote that you always wanted to teach others, or a first thing that comes to your mind? It could be a quote, a Bible verse. What's a phrase that you live by?
Okay, sure. So have a phrase, but then I want to boil it down to what it all comes down to for me. So the phrase is, where there's a will, there's a way.
I heard you saying that many times.
Really?
Yes.
Because if you want to do it, there's going to be a way to figure it out.
Yes.
So while others, yes, if someone else has done something, then 100% you can do something.
Yes.
You can do that thing.
Yes.
And even if no one else has ever done it, you can still do something, because there's always new opportunities and pioneering something transformative. But it all boils down to, for me, it all boils down to a key scripture that I stand on and wholeheartedly believe in. And that is, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Yes, it is.
There's nothing left outside of all. So.
Wow, that's good. That's good. There's nothing left outside of all. That means all.
Yeah,
things.
all. That's all inclusive.
So you do bring your belief, your spiritual life into everything you do.
Yeah, pretty much, yes. 100%, not pretty much. Yes, I do. And while you have to be, what do they call it, politically correct, or however, in the way that we traverse conversations in the world we live in, yes, at the foundation of who I am, 100%.
That's beautiful. Sharisse, I just want to say, I see this beautiful heart that you have for mentoring and teaching and helping and guiding. When did that started?
Well, first, I just wanted to add a little something else.
Yes.
I do believe that every life is a gift and every life has a gift. So to the extent that I can be a part, anyone that I automatically know almost, my path has crossed with someone else's path for a purpose and a reason. So to the extent that I can bring life, light, joy, support, whatever that is to another person, I am committed to doing that to the extent that I can. Years ago, I used to say I would help to a fault, like to my own detriment. And that may or may not make it, but I would help to a fault, meaning like, okay, even if it costs me everything, I'm still going to help if it's going to help someone else's life be better. However, what I realized over time was, what I thought, I'm thinking this is normal. But then I found out that the vast majority of people don't help people. The vast majority don't help, and especially if it costs them something. They might help if it's easy, but they don't help if it costs them something. And but I didn't realize that at first. So I think that's part of my gifting. And as well, what I was going to say, so your question, you asked, what is your question again?
In the final thought, if you have a phrase, what made you mentor and help people?
Yes. So I would like to share that with everyone. It's worth sharing. It's a big thing for me, because I had role models in my parents. They were amazing in the extent that they led by example. They pretty much demonstrated what in the Bible it talks about labor of love. They demonstrated a labor of love. They helped so many people to have an opportunity to be put on a pathway to a better life. There was a group called Teen Challenge, and it's essentially for people who have wrestled with drug addiction, and so they go through this program, then they come out, and then there was a need that was determined that when the people come out, a lot of times they went back home to their community, and then they were back in the same cycle. Someone asked my father, who was a pastor of the local church, hey.
Oh, okay, now makes sense.
We've never talked about this. Okay.
I did not know.
We never talked about it, I guess. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Wow, that
is so funny.
That opens
everything comes together.
Now comes together. Oh my gosh. Your dad served the people. You saw your whole life.
Since he,
how to make a way and serve the people.
But not to say just because he's a pastor, every pastor doesn't serve the people.
Right. Oh, that's right.
All pastors not created equal.
It's so true.
But so I did see they led with heart. Period. So when I started to share about that, I'll share other examples too. They received a call. Hey, so this is the situation we're seeing. Do you know of anyone that can help? He talked to my mother. They made an agreement. Okay, we are going to help these men that are coming out of this program that need a leg up to get a leg up on life. Because so they don't have to go back to the metropolitan city where they were from, because we lived in a smaller, the area of town we lived in was a little bit more rural, but the community was a little bigger. But in the big scheme of things, everyone would say it's a little town. Right. I thought it was bigger when I was there, so it's a little town. So they allowed over time, over 30 different men came through our home. And that affected the trajectory of those men's lives with their families for decades. And even right now, several of those families are thankful, and they'll still look back and say thank you to my parents of what they did. And this is from the late 80s on until the 90s.
It's like almost he wanted to have a house where people could be restored, but he didn't have that house, so he brought to his own house.
That's right. Yeah, so they lived in our house. That's right, and that's a big risk.
I was thinking about the same thing. I didn't want to say it's a big risk.
Yeah, it's a big risk, but God. So that just shows you how amazing this story truly is as it relates to that aspect of how they help people. You're bringing in people that could do anything. So one guy, he told my parents after he stayed at our house, my parents were going to go away for the weekend. They left him, and he had a key because they would let them have full access to our house to be able to eat, to sleep, to shelter, like full access.
Who does that?
Right, not many people, almost nobody.
Yes.
And so they were going away for the weekend. He wrote them and told them, "You left me at your house. I could have stolen everything from you. But the fact that you left me and that you entrusted me with your house, that changed his life."
Wow.
He said the fact that they entrusted him.
Wow.
It changed the trajectory of his life. Just that one thing. And so he said he appreciated the time that they had gave him there. And he did not take one thing, although he could have taken everything. And so that's just
life lessons.
Right, just life lessons. And so outside of all those people and the generations that were transformed because my parents just said yes and made a way, there's all of their subsequent generations have changed for a better life because their father, the head of their household, was able to stay off drugs. And then my parents helped them to become gainfully employed, get a skill, whatever it is.
Sometimes that's what older people really need, is some kind of support.
Yeah, a lot of times that's all someone really needs is a little support to get from here to here. Some people, they may be offered the support and they may decline, but then they can't say that no one ever offered the support.
So the wonderful thing is where your story begins is actually watching your parents leave. That's like, you know, and that's the number one thing that is a lack today in homes, is to have an example of how to live.
Yeah, and I'd say there is a post I was going to do on social media that I still need to do, and it's just called care. The word care. Because if someone just shows a little care, everyone's life can be so much better.
And I had it in a question here when I was writing the questions for you. It says, "Why do you care so much?"
Oh wow, yeah, that's a post that will come on social media.
Do you remember that was in the question?
I didn't see why do you care, but that is so funny because it matters. It changes someone's entire everything. It can. It has the power to change everything if someone just shows a little care. I just wanted to say one other thing with my parents. They would go and visit the people in the hospital, or they'd go help the persons that are less fortunate.
Yeah.
If they ever saw a need, they figured, and they were aware of the need, they'd see what they could do to help to make the situation better.
That is so Powerful. It touches me.
Yeah.
It touches me.
Yeah, and I didn't realize the full power of all of that until, because I'm living with it. You don't think about the things that, wow, people don't normally do these things until you get out in the world and you realize that people don't do a lot of the things that they did.
But you know, one thing that is not in the scripture, but I have to say, the woman, the most amazing, powerful woman that I'm meeting, they had incredible fathers.
Oh, wow. That's good.
They had incredible fathers.
And he is. I have a post that I'm about to do now about my father before Father's Day, just for his 80th
Oh,
birthday.
it's Father's Day.
That's true too. Yeah, it's Father's Day coming
We're
up.
talking about that. We have incredible fathers. Today, the way I see you as a bridge for the Brazilian community that is watching and is connecting. You are a bridge because a lot of the Brazilian community realtors have a hard time to have access to commercial real estate, and you have been mentoring me in a way with a lot of care, which it makes me like absolutely emotional just to think about it. It's how you do things with so much love. And when you think about this, what all this can happen, and if we're thinking about 20, 30 years from now, for all the legacy that you can build and help and teach and bridge to the people that want to do and build in Florida, in the United States, what would you, if let's say this, if there's an investor watching, he's sitting in Brazil right now, and he says, I have the money and the resources, but I wanted somebody trustworthy that I can handle the key of my money to invest in the United States. What would you like to tell this investor?
Okay, sure. So what I'd like to share, first, investors, I operate from a perspective of trust and integrity. Throughout my career, I've been in banking, and so it's a very highly regulated fiduciary capacity where I saw the wealth and investments and every single thing about somebody, everything, not just their address, but social security number, everything. I had everything at my fingertips. So we had to operate at a very high level of integrity in a fiduciary capacity. So, but as well, navigating through commercial real estate, I've seen a fair share of people who do not operate with a high level of integrity and honesty. It is par for the course, so they say it goes along with the territory. So you have the good apples and the bad apples, but you see them and you'll see the way they work and maneuver. So one thing in working with me, someone can always be rest assured and know that I am a safe place.
That's good.
I operate in confidentiality, honesty, and integrity.
That's beautiful. Sharisse, thank you so much for being today with us. And it's an honor to sit here with you. And I can't wait for us to sit it again.
Yes, this is wonderful. Thank you.